Hello and welcome to our cozy corner of the night. Tonight, we have a lovely collection of stories to gently guide you into slumber. We'll start with gentle breezes on the Lilac Plateau, then wander through A Dreamy Afternoon in Firefly Orchard. Let the peaceful stroll on the Moonlit Dunes carry you further into relaxation and end with quiet reflections by the Emerald Mire. We always love seeing where everyone is tuning in from, so feel free to share in the comments. Now, find a comfortable spot, take a deep breath, and let yourself drift off into a peaceful sleep. On the rolling expanse of the Lilac Plateau, time seemed to move at its own gentle pace. Here, the earth was a patchwork quilt of soft purples and blues, where lilac flowers blossomed in wild abundance, stretching out as far as the eye could see. The plateau was cradled by gentle hills, their slopes blanketed in tender green grasses that swayed with the slightest encouragement of the breeze. In the soft embrace of a late afternoon, the sun hung low on the horizon, casting a warm golden light that bathed everything in a gentle glow. The air was filled with the delicate, sweet fragrance of lilacs, mingling with the freshness of the evening dew that had begun to settle like a soft veil over the landscape. Every step on the plateau was muffled by the thick, springy carpet of flowers, creating a whisper that barely broke the trance of the serene environment. Dotted throughout the plateau were small clusters of ivory crocuses, their petals catching and refracting the sun's waning rays like tiny fragments of stained glass. As a gentle breeze swept across the plateau, the flowers danced lightly, their movements mirroring the soft undulations of the hills. Alongside the lilacs and crocuses, the plateau was adorned with small, delicate tufts of wild thyme, their pungent, earthy scent adding a subtle undertone to the floral symphony. Buzzing quietly, bees moved languidly from bloom to bloom, intoxicated by the richness of the flowers. As you walk through this paradise, the sky changes its palette from shades of soft red to gentle lavender, mirroring the hues beneath. High above, wisps of white clouds drift lazily, their reflections dappling the ground with soft dapples of shade. A lone hawk glides silently in the distance, its silhouette idly tracing circles in the expansive sky, a graceful dance against the azure canvas. Near the center of the plateau stood an ancient oak tree, its wide canopy providing shelter and a welcoming sense of stillness amid the sea of blooms. Settling beneath this venerable guardian, you find yourself enveloped by its cradling calm, the subtle texture of its bark speaking of centuries past, of stories told only to the wind. With time fading into twilight, the world around you transforms subtly and surely. The sun dips further towards the edge of the world, casting elongated shadows that stretch across the plateau. Warm hues give way to cooler tones, and the first stars begin to wink into existence, timid yet persistent. As night falls, a gentle hush envelops the plateau. The breeze carries with it a slight chill, prompting you to draw your shawl a little tighter. In the quiet, the whispers of a small brook become more pronounced, its clear waters trickling amongst moss-covered stones in a charming lullaby. You close your eyes for a moment, opening your senses to the world around you. The sound of the brook merges with the distant hoot of a solitary owl. The aromatic scent of lilacs grows richer with the cool air, blending effortlessly with the sweet aroma of dampened earth. Amidst this tranquil symphony, the plateau's nocturnal life begins to stir. Fireflies emerge, tiny orbiting stars themselves, flickering in and out of existence as they flit across the fields. Their light dances merrily in the deepening twilight, illuminating the gentle sway of flowers beneath. With night settled over the plateau, the world slows further to a serene pace. The moon, a silver sentinel, hangs high, casting a delicate glow that intermingles with the faint silvery shimmer of the dew-kissed petals. The lilacs, their colors subdued yet still subtly vibrant, reflect the moonlight in a rhythmic pulse of muted beauty. The air now carries a deeper chill, and the fragrance of lilac mingles more profoundly with the night, giving each breath an added layer of sweetness. The stars above cast an infinite constellation across the sky, each point a distant flame, offering its silent song to the tranquil night. As the minutes drift slowly by, a soft rustle signals the presence of gentle creatures bustling in the underbrush. A small family of rabbits bobs through the flower beds, nibbling curiously at the soft greens, leaving only the faintest trace of their gentle As the first rays break the horizon, the plateau awakens with a quiet, unhurried vigor. The morning light spills over the blossoms, igniting their colors anew and charming the lilacs into full, vibrant bloom once more. Dewdrops glisten like diamonds suspended on gossamer threads, catching the sunlight in a fleeting moment of glory before they scatter to the earth. Standing once more beneath the ancient oak, you take a deeper breath, savoring the fresh and floral aromas that signal the start of another peaceful day on the Lilac Plateau. Here, surrounded by such unblemished beauty, time is pliant, each moment a gentle, sacred unwrapping of nature's endless gifts. With a heart quietly filled with gratitude and tranquility, you prepare to leave the plateau, knowing that its serenity will remain with you, a comforting companion until you return. As you begin your gentle descent, the song of the plateau stays with you, a whisper of peace that will linger in your dreams. Each step away from the plateau's heart brings you closer to the gently curving path that winds downwards through the hills. The terrain shifts subtly from the spongy softness of the flower-strewn plains to the more structured trail lined with velvet moss and scattered with smooth, ancient stones. The journey is gentle, almost as if the earth is cradling your feet with each step, guiding you slowly back to the world beyond. Along the path, the wild thyme gathers in thicker clumps, its bold fragrance rising to meet you. You brush past them, their tiny flowers nodding in agreement with the breeze that accompanies you. The scent is earthy, verdant, grounding, a counterpoint to the airborne sweetness you've left behind temporarily up on the plateau. As you continue your descent, the chorus of birds swells in vibrant harmony. Warblers and nightingales flit between the branches, their melodies weaving a delicate quilt of sound that wraps warmly around you, echoing through the cooling air. Their songs speak of unity and joy, a shared celebration of the morning's new promise. The path gradually unfurls through a small grove of birch trees, their silver bark a gentle luminescence in the dawn light. Leaves shiver and sparkle, droplets of dew clinging momentarily like tiny worlds before letting go, falling with a nearly silent plop onto the soft undergrowth. Sunlight filters through with a gentle persistence, dappling the path with shifting patterns winds that playfully guide you onward. As you round a gentle bend, the path widens into a sleepy meadow where daffodils and bluebells stand in clusters, their bright heads turned toward the sun. Amidst them, a solitary bench beckons, nestled against a backdrop of flowering hawthorn. You pause, taking a moment to sit and absorb the mosaic of sensations that the morning unfurls. Seated, the world unfolds around you like a gentle symphony, each note crafted by nature's own hand. A soft rustling stirs the grass by your feet as a hedgehog emerges, its tiny feet navigating the colorful maze of petals and leaves. It pauses briefly, acknowledging your presence with a soft blink before continuing its quest through the meadow. Beyond, the brook you had heard in the night rejoins your journey. It flows parallel to the path, its water sparkling with sunlight. The brook sings its own melody, a comforting babble that mirrors the essence of the journey, a constant, soothing companion of liquid laughter that hums through the clearing. Resting there, you let the tranquility seep into your bones, your breath sinking with the rhythmic pulse of the earth beneath you. Each inhalation is a meditation, each exhalation a release of worldly cares. The peace of the plateau, the whisper of the brook, and the song of the birds all intertwine, leaving an indelible impression upon your heart. After a time, you rise from the bench, feeling renewed, and continue your journey. The path wends gently downhill, haunted by the echoes of ancient trees and the sound of the brook, which persists through emerald thickets, carving a path just as the trail continues to do. As the morning unfolds, the sun climbs higher, casting a more defined light that promises warmth to the day. Meadows become interspersed with patches of woodland, the path meandering through this patchwork with the timeless ease of slow, meandering thoughts. Bees hover lazily, indifferent architects of the early day, their wings a soft buzz in the serene silence. The world carries on in an unhurried rhythm. Beneath every leaf is a story of life, every breath a whisper from the earth inviting you to pause, to listen, to rejoice in the simplicity of existence. Before long, the path slopes down towards a small, serene lake, the waters calm and reflective, capturing the sky and all its offerings in mirrored perfection. Here, Ducks paddle serenely, leaving gentle ripples that send shivers of movement across the mirrored facade. A lone swan glides gracefully, a sovereign of this water realm, watching you with serene interest as you approach the water's edge. Kneeling, you cup your hands to dip into the cool, clear lake, the water refreshing as it laps over your fingers. Its gentle touch is a cleansing, a blessing that follows you from the plateau to this place of serene peace. Time continues its gentle fold as you move on, the sun now stretching towards its zenith, the trail broadening into a lane that promises to lead back to familiar places, carrying with it the imprint of the Lilac Plateau's quiet beauty. As you drift back towards the world you know, a soft, soulful chorus of wind carries the essence of the plateau with you like an eternal embrace, promising to greet your heart and dreams until you meet again.
Feel the weight of the day melting away as our next story begins.
Nestled beyond the gentle rise of the whispering hills, where time seems to flow like the tranquil streams nearby, lay the serene Firefly Orchard. This place was a haven crafted by the hands of nature itself, where sprawling apple groves, almost eternal in their standing, wove together a tapestry of solace and quietude. The orchard seemed timeless, where no season left its harsh mark, and each day was threaded into life with gentle care. Afternoon sunlight draped the orchard in a golden quilt, catching the apple blossoms just as they began their delicate journey from bloom to fruit. Their soft pink and white petals dappled the ground like fragile snow, creating a carpet of nature's artistry. Above, the sky held a hue of the softest blue, brushed with feathery clouds that meandered leisurely across its vast canvas. The air carried a mingling of sweet fruit and blooming flowers, a fragrance so tender it could lull even the most restless of minds into tranquility. Soft whispers of wind curled around the branches, coaxing gentle movements and quiet rustlings like soft music in the background of a dream. Every breeze seemed to be imbibed with a hint of honey, warmth lingering in the currents as they floated by. Beneath the benevolent shade, the earth felt cool against the touch, cradling tiny sprouts of clover that peeked shyly through the carpet of petals. The rhythm of the orchard was unhurried, a slow ebb and flow that mirrored the breathing of the world itself. A secluded footpath wound its way through the orchard, an invitation for the rare visitor to explore its quiet depths. Lined with wildflowers, the path seemed to shimmer occasionally, where drops of past rain had been caught by the sun's rays, turning each into a little lamp dotting the logs and stones. As one strolled gently down this path, each step accompanied by the softest crunch beneath the feet, an old stone bench appeared as if from another era, smoothened by time and weather. It sat under the archway of an ancient apple tree, leaves gently brushing against it like an affectionate whisper. It was here that the evening began to weave its spell. The sun, now slipping lazily behind the hills, left a trail of amber light that set the orchard aglow. This amber light danced through the leaves and branches, casting filigree patterns on the ground. The soft chirping of birds began to taper off, replaced by the sporadic evening chimes of crickets and the mellifluous call of an owl hidden somewhere in the lush sanctuary. As dusk deepened, an ethereal transformation took place. The orchard, under its veil of twilight, seemed to breathe anew. Tiny points of light began to flicker into existence, gently waking from their sunlit slumber. These were the fireflies, tiny lanterns born by nature, blinking slowly as they began their graceful dance through the trees and over the beds of flowers. There was a timeless magic in their movement, a waltz that followed no rhythm known to man, but one understood by the soul. The glow they cast was a cool, soft light that blended seamlessly with the deepening night, creating a symphony of warmth and shadows. Under the star-sprinkled sky, the orchard became a realm between worlds, a place where the gentle hum of night held sway. The ground, still warm from the sun's embrace, was now cooled by the tender touch of evening dew, which glistened like myriad stars sprinkled along the path. Around the old bench, a soft fragrance of apples hung in the air, mingled with the fresh scent of newly blossomed night jasmine, whose quiet blooms opened to the touch of night, releasing a calm perfume that wove through the air with the delicate precision of a weaver's thread. In the hush, the fireflies mirrored the stars above, filling the orchard with their gentle luminescence.
Each one seemed to carry a tiny story, whispered aloud only to the leaves, petals, and the gentle waves of grass that swayed to their silent song. Above all, the soundscape of this enchanted evening was undisturbed. The crickets' serenade, low and melodious, played in harmony with the subtle chorus of leaves. The murmur of a distant brook added a soothing bass. The soft splashing echoing through the night air, enhancing the tranquility that filled the orchard. Time slowed to a near standstill here. Each passing moment stretched thinly over the night, like the long shadows cast by the fading moon. A cool, caressing breeze occasionally drifted through, carrying with it the soothing cadence of distant waves, kissing a shore somewhere far beyond, only hinted at in the crisp, salty undertone it left behind. As midnight gently edged into the scene, a silver mist began to rise from the earth, enrobing the orchard in its silken embrace.
The fireflies, undeterred, continued their nighttime performance with renewed fervor, each little glow bug a beacon of beauty and calm. The rhythms of the orchard at this late hour were profoundly serene. Every leaf's shiver, every blade of grass moving in harmony with its neighbors, carried a poetry only the eyes could see and the heart could feel. The orchard, alive and breathing, invited the weary to shut their eyes, to pause, and find rest in its beguiling embrace. Beneath the towering boughs of the old apple trees, the world felt at peace. The noise of civilization melted away, and in its place, the tranquility of nature reigned supreme. It was here, among the flickering glow and gentle whispers of the orchard, that one's mind could wander into dreams, serenaded by nature's lullaby. In the stillness of Firefly Orchard, one could reconnect with the gentle rhythms of life, a sanctuary where the only rush was the tender wish for another breeze to pass through, lifting away the cares of the world and leaving only serenity in its wake. The fireflies' enchanting dance continued on through the night under the watchful gaze of both moon and stars, ensuring that all who entered this tranquil world left with a piece of its peace deeply nestled in their hearts. And so, this secret place, this gentle pocket of the world, existed as a balm for the soul, a gentle whisper of serenity for the minds weary of their day's trials. As dawn began its quiet approach, the air shifted slightly, carrying with it the promise of a new day. The mist that had enveloped the orchard through the night began to thin, revealing the outlines of the trees and paths with increasing clarity. The first light of morning, soft and tentative, played upon the horizon, hinting at the vibrant hue of colors that was yet to unfold. Birds, as if rehearsing for this moment, began their morning symphony, each call a note in a harmonious overture that gently stirred the silence that had held the orchard captive through the night. Their songs floated through the air like delicate notes, rising and falling in a gentle waltz that mimicked the nighttime dance of the fireflies. The fireflies themselves, companions of the night, began to dim their lights, their dance drawing to a close as if knowing their time had passed for another day. They floated slowly back to their hidden places among the leaves and grasses, cradled once more by the daylight that signaled their rest. As the sun rose higher, its golden light kissed the tops of the apple trees, slowly spilling downward until the entire orchard shimmered in its warmth. The glory of the morning light was such that it seemed to awaken each leaf, each blossom, setting them aglow with a deep, peaceful energy that breathed slowly in tandem with the earth itself. A gentle breeze picked up, rustling through the branches and sweeping over the carpet of fallen petals, carrying with it the lingering scent of apple and jasmine. It moved with the quiet of a whisper, a companion to the soft sighs of those who found refuge here, nestled in dreams, surrounded by the orchard's calm embrace. The cool dew gathered through the night began to evaporate under the sun's tender gaze, leaving behind a freshness in the air that invigorated those who paused to breathe deeply, capturing and releasing the world's serenity with every gentle exhale. The droplets clung to the grass blades and flowers just long enough to catch and reflect the light in hundreds of tiny rainbows, each one a brushstroke in nature's gentle painting of the world. Animals began to stir and venture from their nocturnal havens. A family of rabbits, soft and warm, nibbled quietly at clover beneath the watchful eyes of their elders. Deer, graceful and silent, grazed at the edges of the grove, their presence almost spectral in the pale morning mist. Along the footpath, the wildflowers stood proudly, their petals unfurling in the daylight, as if waking up, just like the rest of the orchard's inhabitants. The aroma of fresh earth mingled with the sweet scent of blossoms, creating a bouquet that was one part memory and one part promise, leaving an imprint on the soul like the softest touch. As the day progressed, the orchard stood as a sentinel of peace, preserving the tranquility of its nighttime enchantment even in the full light of day. The sun climbed high, painting the world in ever-vibrant shades, until finally it began its descent once more, and the promise of evening, with its fireflies and soothing darkness, loomed on the horizon. Yet the magical dance of the prior night still lingered in the memory of those who had witnessed it, a gentle reminder that peace is never far away. It resides in the quiet corners of the earth, where time flows as smoothly as the gentle streams nearby, where the heart can beat in time with nature, and where tranquil dreams flow as effortlessly as the morning breeze. This is Firefly Orchard, a place of eternal solace.
There's no need to rush. Just breathe and let the next story find you.
Nestled on the edge of a vast, undulating desert, the little town of Aurelia sat in serene repose. As the day gently turned to dusk, the last traces of the sun shimmered upon the soft sand dunes that reached out into the horizon. These dunes, with their gentle curves and rippling textures, appeared to dance in the warm glow of the fading daylight. As twilight descended, a tender breeze began to stir, carrying with it the cool scent of distant lavender fields and the faint whisper of the sea far off to the west. In this delicate transition between dusk and night, the sands, warmed by the day's sun, exhaled a subtle warmth that mingled effortlessly with the evening's cooler breath. The moon, casting its silvery glow upon the tranquil landscape, rose slowly above the horizon. Its light wove intricate patterns across the dunes, turning them into a lunar landscape of silver and shadow. Along the highest ridges, thin streams of sand flowed like liquid silk, shaped by the unseen hands of the night's gentle winds. Walking along these moonlit dunes, each step was cushioned by the soft earth beneath, yielding slightly with a gentle sigh as if acknowledging the trespass. The sand was cool to the touch now, each grain slipping between toes like fine flour, leaving behind an imprint that the wind would soon erase. Aurelia was a haven for those seeking peace and reflection, its buildings, painted in soft pastels with windows framed by chamomile shutters, seemed to melt into their surroundings. Each home boasted a small garden, tended with care, such that their blooms reflected the soothing hues of their abodes. Even at this hour, the faint hum of crickets and the distant song of night birds lent a symphony to the tranquil scene, as footsteps traced a leisurely path over the rolling sands. The quietude was deep and engulfing, a serene silence broken only by the occasional rustle of a breeze coaxing the desert grass to dance. Somewhere nearby, the soft trickle of a hidden spring whispered promises of coolness and life in this arid place. It was this quiet spring that provided for the nearby oasis, a small jewel amid the sandy expanse. A cluster of date palms circled it protectively, their fronds swaying gently against the night sky. The water mirrored the stars above, creating a scene of infinite reflection where the earth seemed to kiss the heavens themselves. Beneath the canopy of palm leaves, the moonlight scattered into a dappled pattern on the ground, echoing the dreams of the desert night. The air around the oasis was imbued with the scent of the blossoms that graced it. Night-blooming jasmines and lilies unfolded their petals to the night, releasing a perfume that mixed with the earthy scent of the wet sand, composing an aroma both exotic and soothing. Here, in this secluded hideaway, the pulse of the desert was a gentle lullaby. Easing down to sit among the grassy tufts, you could feel the gentle rhythm of the earth beneath you, subtly pulsing with the life that thrummed beneath the sands. As your eyes adjusted fully to the soft glow of moon and stars, details that earlier remained hidden began to emerge. The delicate branching of the palm trees, each swaying leaf catching a hint of silver, and the miniature craters formed by the nocturnal inhabitants of the dunes. Time drifted languidly as you reclined and let yourself become attuned to the tranquil landscape. The moon rose higher, illuminating the stretch
stretches of sand that seem to stretch into forever, while overhead, constellations traced their ancient narratives against the velvet blue. The boundless sky breathed a sense of infinite quietude, drawing you into its vast expanse. In this serene space, thoughts meandered like the winds shaping the dunes, gentle and unhurried. Memories surfaced with the kind of nostalgia that warms the heart. Afternoons spent under a hazy sun, laughter shared under the cooling shade of the garden's pergola, and the joyous simplicity of watching clouds drift lazily across endless skies. Nearby, the soft splash of a fish breaking the surface of the oasis sounded like an invitation, a small reminder of the world beyond your thoughts. The oasis was a world in itself, buzzing with a life orchestrated by nature's gentle hand. Frogs provided a gentle crooning bass line amid the rustling palm leaves, while crickets and cicadas added softer notes, perfectly timed with the rhythm of the night. Lying back, the sand supported in soft undulations, conforming to the shape of your body as if in embrace. The earth's coolness seeped through, a stark contrast to the warmth of the day, now gently fading away with every passing moment.
This was a place to unwind, to release the tight coils of thought that accumulate under stress, and to give oneself over to the sweet simplicity of the natural world. As the night wore on, the moon continued its journey across the sky, casting ever-shifting shadows on the landscape. This lunar ballet, ancient and profound, reminded one of the eternal dance of time, how nights and days flowed seamlessly into one another, each bringing its calm or energy in perfect, unending cycles. Soon, a mild chill began to nip the air as the breeze gained a slight firmness, heralding the midnight hour where the earth seemed to pause and breathe deeply. Snuggled within your wrap, a soft fabric that bore the faded scent of familiar comforts, you delighted in the tactile warmth it provided. In this momentary pause, with the night enveloping your senses, sleep beckoned like an old friend, gently tugging at the corners of awareness. Shadows blurred into forms yet unidentified, the soft music of the night folding into dreams, as the line between reality and imagination blurred. Imagine how this place will remember such nights. Long after footprints fade and the sand continues its eternal flow, the memories will linger, hidden within the desert's heart. the stories whispered as the wind sings through its shifting peaks and tranquil valleys. Underneath the wide canopy of stars, with the moon as your silent witness, you understand the desert's quiet disclosure. Each grain of sand, once part of an ancient world, now part of a ceaseless mosaic that stretches across land and time. And so, here in the stillness, comforted by the vast open sky and the gentle curve of the dunes, you surrender to night's embrace, letting the serene solitude of this place guide you into restful slumber, where dreams meander with the sands, unhurried and boundless. As the desert night unfolded its quiet tapestry, a gentle drift of clouds veiled the sky, momentarily drawing a silvery curtain across the stars. These clouds whispered secrets from distant lands as they moved gracefully, their presence as transient and ethereal as dreams themselves. The night air, cool and soothing, wrapped around you like a cherished memory, whispering stories as old as the desert sands. Just at the edge of hearing came the subtle rustling of the date palms, their leaves a symphony of whispers that seemed to speak a language only the wind truly knew. Yet, if you listened closely with your heart, it felt as though the desert itself was speaking to you, sharing the wisdom learned over countless nights under the cosmos. The stars once again revealed themselves as the clouds continued their journey. They shimmered in the deep celestial sea, casting a gentle, eternal light onto the silent sands. Here and there, the flicker of a distant meteor raced across the heavens, a fleeting connection between earth and sky. With each passing light, wishes were made, and dreams seemed a little closer, bridged by the night's quiet magic. In this vast, tranquil expanse, the heart of the desert pulsed softly with life. The sounds of night unfolded in layers. A choir of night jars called softly from somewhere beyond the dunes. The occasional hoot of an owl lent a rich, mysterious note to the symphony. Even the
drawing in the quiet cool of night. Each exhale releasing a soft warmth that slowly ebbed away. Nestled in this oasis of peace, your senses were attuned to these quiet conversations of nature. The gentle sway of the palms rhythmically shifted the light, casting playful shadows that danced around you as if to guide you further into the depths of serenity. The texture of the sand, fine as sifted flour, slipped through your fingers, grounding you in the present moment while encouraging the mind to wander freely in contemplation. Images of past evening strolls along the dunes played softly through your thoughts, each one an echo of contented footsteps in the glow of countless moons. Places revisited in memory brought warmth, as did thoughts of loved ones, their companionship like invisible threads intertwining the fabric of night with a comforting presence. Sleep's feathery touch grew insistent, each plane drawing this oasis of tranquility closer. The horizon seemed to draw near, enveloped in a gentle embrace of shadows and light. A delicate balance whispered through the rustle of palms and the murmuring night breeze. Somewhere, perhaps in the hidden heart of the oasis, a night blossom surrendered to the dawn's call, its petals kissed by the tender touch of the almost arriving sun. The eastern sky began to hint at color, a softening of the dark canvas with hues of indigo, giving way to the delicate blush of pre-dawn.
And as your eyes closed, you breathed in deeply, capturing the final aroma of jasmine and night-cooled earth, a treasure to take into the landscapes of dreams. With each inhalation, you drew in the tranquility of the night, sinking ever deeper into its gentle temper until consciousness faded into the honeyed realms of restful slumber. The desert, keeper of aged secrets and ancient wisdom, watched over you under the guardian stars. It soothed with its soft serenades and whispered echoes of times untold, cradling you as you journeyed into sleep's gentle embrace, where dreams flowed as effortlessly as the timeless sands. In this sacred stillness, your spirit danced among the stars, weaving through the constellations, speaking the language of wishes and whispers. The desert, with its eternal patience, held you in its quiet sanctuary, a place where peace is abundant and dreams, unguarded, waltz beneath the heavens' embrace.
Let your breathing slow and allow yourself to follow where this next story leads.
Nestled in a quiet corner of the world, where the sun gleamed softly over the horizon and kissed the landscape with a gentle golden hue, lay the Emerald Mire. Unlike the name might suggest, this was no place of decay or foreboding. It was a tranquil expanse where nature whispered her oldest secrets, and time seemed to pace to the rhythm of a slow, caressing lullaby. The mire was a wide, calm expanse filled with quiet aquatic plants, their leaves whispering interludes of gentle green. Tiny flowers danced on the surface, and soft tendrils of mist rose in the early dawn like ethereal chiffon veils. As the sun climbed ever so tenderly in the sky, it painted the waters with shimmering flecks of gold, reflecting a symphony of colors that seemed to murmur tales of peace and calm. Around the perimeter of the mire, tall marsh grasses stood like sentinels, swaying slightly with the movements of the wind. They emitted a soft swishing sound as a gentle breeze wove through them, a sound as soothing as a distant ocean, barely there, yet grounding in its presence. The soft earth beneath the explorers' feet had a springy quality when they treaded along the narrow paths. These invisible paths were cut out by those secret wanderers of the marshlands, the gentle creatures who called this serene place home. The air was filled with a sensory bouquet. There was the coolness of the early morning air mixed with the ambient warmth that promised a comforting day ahead. It was ripe with the smell of damp earth and the faint sweetness of wild growing lilies, adding an almost palpable texture to the feeling of calm that enveloped the area. Birds too found refuge here in this quiet sanctum. Their songs were understated, suited to the ambience of the mire. The melodious warble of a nearby thrush punctuated the air, its song rising in a gentle crescendo before ebbing back into solace, like a warm embrace for the soul. Dragonflies flit about in whimsical flights, their wings catching and bending the light into dazzling displays that played alongside the trickling murmur of a hidden stream that fed into the heart of the mire. On the eastern edge of this verdant world, aged willow trees dip their slender fingers into the water, creating circular patterns of ripples that radiated outward,
Here, the shaded relief offered a cool sanctuary where one might pause to enjoy the subtle dance of daylight filtering through the lacework canopy of leaves. The light here was softer, tinted with the gentle green of the willow's boughs, like a magician's spell that could turn weariness into calm. The mire knew no industrial hums, no worries of a fast-paced world. Each element in this scene played a role in a timeless play where serenity was all that truly mattered. Squirrels would occasionally dart across the edge of undergrowth, causing the slightest rustle before stillness reigned once more. Away from the paths, patches of wild mint exhaled their crisp, invigorating scent, mingling with the warmth of the sun and the appeal of the earth. In the high sunlit noon, the mire's beauty was at its quiet peak. Light refracted through gentle mists, creating rainbows that bowed gracefully, ephemeral yet magical. They provided a touch of the unexpected amidst the consistent calm, a gentle reminder of the beauty life held when observed with patience. The visitor here, if they wandered long enough, might gather simple treasures along the way. A feather from a passing heron, an unusually shaped stone, washed smooth by time, or the memory of a fish jumping with a splash that seemed to break time itself, only to restore it again with ripples of reality, reflecting beauty. Afternoon found the air imbued with a lazy, comforting warmth that beckoned one to linger in understanding with the world. The horizon took on a charming haze where earth joined sky in a seamless tapestry painted with the finest brushstrokes of nature. Those lucky few who came to the mire knew the profound peace that found its way into the very essence of the soul here. With each gentle gust, each subtle note from a distant frog chorus, the mire whispered to them of timelessness, of connectedness. As the day wore on, a sense of deeper reflection filled the air. Shadows began to grow long across the glazing waters, dappling the surface with shifting wire patterns. It was a time for quiet thoughts, for stories shared by those who walked this land in generations past, and for the whispers of breezes imparting wisdom in the rustle of leaves above. Amidst the gentle descent of dusk, the mire dressed itself anew. The vibrant green played host to the mellow gold
golden pink hues of sunset, a curtain call that brought with it a calm such that one could feel the world exhaling with peace.
It felt as if all the troubles could simply fall silent here, left behind in the furl of grasses and the lull of evening notes crooned by crickets and cicadas, who joined the symphony as stars began to unveil themselves in the great velvet sky above. As twilight edged closer, inviting the moon and stars to cast their soft luminescence over the world, a gentle mist began to rise again, this time in more earnest. It cloaked the mire in a serene, diaphanous gown of silver. Paths became whispers of what eyes could see and were better left to the guidance of the heart and memory. For in this peaceful corner of the world, navigating by quiet familiarity seemed more than fitting. The moon cast a gentle light over the shimmering waters, turning them into a softly twinkling quilt that wrapped the lands with tranquility. Across the reflection-still waters of the mire, those ancient willows stood steadfast, their branches now draped with strands of silvery light. It was here that the day's journeys converged. Memories soaked in the emerald waters, and dreams that would unfurl with the coming dawn. With every gentle sigh from the breeze, the mire shared a lullaby known only to itself and those who dared to listen. Here was a place where one could be a part of nature, enveloped in its soft, transcendent embrace. Here was the Emerald Mire, a realm of endless calm, until the stillest of all silences, deep and gentle, called forth the stars to gleam with stories untold. And so, wrapped in this cocoon of perfect tranquility, the mire held its eternal vigil, a cradle for thoughts that drifted softly on night's sigh as they drifted into the sweet embrace of slumber. Twilight continued its gentle expansion, and with it came a chorus of crickets, their chirps layering over the quiet mire like a comforting blanket of sound. Nearby, the gentle plop of a frog leaping from a mossy bank resonated, leaving rings rippling across the water, echoes of its passage, like gentle reminders of the life brimming beneath the surface. The air remained still yet alive, tinged with the encroaching coolness of night, carrying a subtle hint of wood smoke from distant campfires where stories were shared and laughter softly rose to the stars.
the faint rustle of nocturnal creatures stirring in the undergrowth added an enchanting sense of unseen life all around, making the mire feel like both a sanctuary and a world teeming with mysteries. Above, the sky deepened to a rich indigo, studded with stars that shimmered like scattered diamonds, each flicker a guide to a wandering heart. The moon, a benevolent sentinel, rose silently, its glow casting an iridescent sheen over the waters, transforming them into a sea of liquid light that welcomed all reflections, dreams, and ponderings. On a smooth, flat stone nestled comfortably at the water's edge, a lone observer might sit, warmed by memories and cooled by the breeze, cradled by the rhythmic symphony of nature's evening. The gentle scent of jasmine carried on a stray whisper of wind teased the senses, mingling with the earthy aroma of the mire itself, a reminder of summer nights and timeless evenings. In this sacred realm of dusk, fireflies began their luminescent dance, twinkling like earthly stars amidst tangled reeds and hanging branches. Silently, they traced paths of wonder through the gathering dark, each light a tiny flicker of magic that told its own tale of night's hidden joy. Further along the mire, a gentle brook meandered through a copse where the canopy locked in sweet shadows and nurtured a hidden orchestra. Here, the gentle lap of water over stone whispered secrets to the night, a peaceful babble that would continue on its eternal journey, ever reshaping the earthen banks that cradled its flow. As time slipped comfortably onward, a quiet stillness wrapped the world, layers of peaceful ambiguity settling just right. This was a moment untouched by clocks, where one might lose themselves in thought or dream, with eyes wide open, awaiting nothing but contentment. The mire's gentle breezes continued their careful caress, soothing in a continuity only nature could provide. It collectively breathed a rhythm of life, tickling the tall grasses and bending the delicate flowers toward their mirrored images on the still surface of the water. High above, a lone owl departed its sentinel perch atop a gnarled branch, gliding silently on powerful wings across the nightscape, a guardian of these hallowed grounds. Its shadow briefly danced over the reflective pool, an echo of grace and ancient wisdom. Amidst this quiet grandeur, time unfolded with patient hands, painting the mire with serenity and dreaming.
Here was a place where thoughts slowed, memories twined like tendrils of a gentle vine, and the essence of peace trickled into the soul's deepest warrens. By the time darkness nestled fully around the mire, infusing it with sweet, ancient mystery, the quiet had spoken the last loving lullabies of the day. A tender serenity took hold as eyelids grew heavy with the weight of universal calm. Nestled in the gentle embrace of this primal forge of tranquility, souls of wanderers were softly cradled. Hearts swayed in rhythm with the night song, pulled into a world where dreams and realities blended seamlessly. Until dawn's first blush, the Emerald Mire kept its watch, cradling every whispered hope and hidden sigh within its bosom. And here, at peace with all things, lies the perfect cradle of repose, an endless lullaby beneath a canopy of stars.
Sweet dreams, everyone. Rest well, and we'll be here whenever you need us again.